Hey, we are laughing it up today because, folks, we are going to be going over our top 10 1980s lists of action adventure.
Now,
yes, I said laughing and action adventure, but it's all one thing, isn't it?
Because some of them are classified as action and comedy. You're right.
They
You're
are.
right, ladies and gentlemen. Josh
Yes.
is right as usual. This is a laugh-a-thon for our action/comedy movies today.
You're going to laugh because you're running scared.
You know what? I'll be honest. Some of these action movies are funny. They're not supposed to be, but they're funny.
Yes.
And Josh and I can quote many lines.
There's no question. And I think a couple of things. I believe you and I are going to probably share more on this list than we have on our horror and on our comedy lists so far.
I agree. With a couple sleepers as always by me.
Yes.
But yes, I agree. I think this is going to be our closest encounter, and I'm a little nervous because I don't
Beyond know that, folks, just remember how it's done. Google is the one who basically sets this up. So I give you a quick heads up. So there will be no war movies in this. War movies were constituted as war, not action. And none of the Star Wars movies are also allowed. Those are sci-fi action. So the first is sci-fi. So no Star Wars and no war. Yes.
Holy shit. Okay.
Hopefully you already know that because you went and put your movies into Google to make sure.
Absolutely. Come on, Joe. Okay. You think I'm an amateur? Come on.
Well, you never know. You
must be crazy. All right. Well, without further ado, let's jump into the top 10 list because I've heard from some that we just go on and on with this and people eventually tune out. They can't take it.
Yeah, I think an hour is just too long.
It's too long. So we're going to try to whiz through these in about 3 minutes and then call it quits. Sound good?
Which is basically my sex life. So I think, hey, no problem.
You're used to
I whiz through it.
All right, so let's get right into it. Now, again, I have no issue with who wants to go first. You can feel free and give us one of your top 10 picks.
All right, I'm going to go right in at it because I know this is on your list. Robocop. Please tell me, is that on your list?
Oh, God. You know what? I fucked up. Wait, yes.
You do like
it is. I couldn't read. I'm like, wait, where is it?
Your chicken scratch. You couldn't fucking see it.
Yes, RoboCop, 1 for 1. Here we go, right out of the gate.
I knew it. And so what we can do is if I take one of your lists, grab one of your honorable mentions and slide it over, so you still give 10 if you want to do that.
I don't have any honorable mentions. I told you as we got past the comedy, my lists are going to get more and more refined.
And it's funny. You said that last time, and you still ended up with a bunch of honorable mentions when it comes to horror. You were like, I'm done. This is it. I got my 10 and I'm good to go.
I had two. That's it.
Then it grew to 3.
Maybe I'll get one from you, but
you will get one.
Pretty good list here. And RoboCop starting the list is great. Great choice. I'm a big fan of Ed 209, OC.
We're both big fans. RoboCop is one of the movies that we do a lot of role playing, and we always know the lines. Yes.
I mean, we can go on and on, but we won't for the sake of our audience. So
yes.
RoboCop.
Let's keep it like our sex lives. 3 minutes. In and out. Boom.
Go with one of my action movies after RoboCop, and that's going to be Predator.
There you go. One of my lists is now gone.
Thank God. Predator is, as you know, it's just a fabulous movie. The action is it introduced an iconic character into movie cinema.
Over here. Turn
around. I still remember the first time you did that at work, and I was like, dude, that's awesome. That's beautiful. And I
talk Predator. I know the language.
Yeah, I knew you and I were destined for greatness once I went, for someone that does what I do like that, I was like, this guy, he's right up my alley.
Yeah.
Outside
and
of
we've talked about Predator. We love it. Obviously, all the characters, Dylan, everything else. So it's a great movie.
Now, let me just add that again, as adding an iconic character to movie cinema since the 80s. One of my second favorite Predator movies is Alien vs. Predator. I don't know if you've seen that, but it is very good. One of my favorites.
That is
obviously
good.
It's not from the 80s, but it's very good. It's from like 04 or some shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Good. I'm glad it's in your honorable mention for the 2000 movie.
Yes, of course. And I'm
All
going to
right.
come back up over the top. And since we keep on naming movies off each other's list, I'm going to go ahead and keep that up with Beverly Hills Cop.
Wow. Fantastic. I mean, does it get any better than that?
Right. And this, I think this probably would have made our comedy list if it was comedy first.
Absolutely. I had it on the comedy list until we started this new ranking of going with the first selection. And it's an action with a ton of laughs. And it's just, I watched it last week. I watched Beverly Hills Cop 2 the other night. I'm going for part 3 in the next week. I've never even seen part 3, but I'm going to watch it. I enjoyed actually part 2. What are your thoughts?
That's the one with the clay. Look on his shoes. It's that red clay. He's been down at the industrial park.
Yep, that's the one.
And that was with what's her name there? The Bridget Nielsen.
Yeah.
Or Brigitte Nielsen. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yes, very good.
I
very
actually
good.
liked it. Beverly Hills Cop. At this point in the game, it's never going to get old. I can always watch that movie. I mean, Balky, he was good in that for a small role.
My cousin Larry.
Don't be crazy. No problem, really. You want a little twist of lime?
He said nothing.
Yeah, he was good. I mean,
he was
such a good movie.
I ain't gonna fall for no banana in my tailpipe.
We're not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe. I mean,
Eddie Murphy doing his white boy voice is one of the funniest. It is so funny.
Oh, absolutely. You're not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe. And I will say that Victor Maitland was a very good villain in that movie. I will say
Victor Maitland, which most people, if they've seen Breaking Bad, was a mainstay character on Breaking Bad.
Was he really?
Yes, he was.
Damn, I didn't see that.
Yeah. So what was his name? Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. It was not Victor Maitland. It was his. It was his his bodyguard guy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
Too. Hey,
he was the one who was in. Yeah.
You probably don't remember, but when they got him at the warehouse and they kind of was roughing him up, Eddie Murphy, the bodyguard was like, I forget his name. He's like, he was like, hey, is that hurt? Yeah. Kind of reminds you when I popped your friend.
That's right.
Yeah, I love when he said that. He was good too.
Yes. That whole beginning scene was very rough, man. He just shoots his buddy right in the head, right in front of him, man.
Right there.
That's rough. That shit's rough.
There was a really good, was that, who produced that? I mean, you know what? We'll probably edit all this out, but this is our babbling that our audience doesn't like.
Yes, they don't need to hear about this.
Anyway, Beverly Hills Cop, iconic movie. Eddie Murphy, one of his best roles. Everybody knows it. Now, that was yours. That was on mine. So I'm going to, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about Robocop. I'm going to move to the next one on my list, which would be none other than Jean-Claude Van Damme in the iconic Bloodsport.
Bloodsport. Yep. Good call. And I kept this off my list. I kept this off my list intentionally because I knew you would pick it. So I went another route. I went another route with a little twist. But yes, this was this Jean-Claude's first major motion picture?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd say major. I can't remember if Kickboxer or this one came first. This was like the main one because he had like some of the cast in there. He had like a really good cast. It was
Kumite.
Yes, Polo Young was in it. It was in Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee. Like that's huge. And he was so good in that. Chung Lee Brolo was so good in that movie. Like the cast. Michael Kesey.
So this was first. Bloodsport was 88, Kickboxer 89. So this was the first.
Well, this deserves to be the first. Michael Kesey was in Bloodsport, was also Tung Po in Kickboxer. Just like in the Bruce Lee movies, they recycled characters a lot.
Yep.
And this is a perfect example of that. Michael Kesey was also in Lionheart and I believe Death Warrant, but definitely in Lionheart. He was in at least 3 Van Damme movies. And this I'm not editing out because this is like kung fu cinema that sort of transcended from the Bruce Lee era, and who knows what else. So just to point that out to my karate fans out there, if there are any, I love you.
And we also got to see our buddy in this movie as well.
Exactly. What a great bonus.
Yes, it was. Donald Gibb.
Donald Gibb. I think he passed away recently.
I wouldn't be surprised. The
We'll
picture I've
say-
got, he looks pretty rough.
He would look rough
Um,
even in that movie, and that was the 80s.
I think he's still alive. He's still alive. He's 66
Okay.
years old.
All right, my bad. I thought I saw he did pass away. All right. Thank you, Down Gibb. You know, your character was reminiscent to the nerds in this movie,
Yep.
except you knew how to fight better, it seems.
Right.
Not nerds, but other people that had skills. But
All right, good call. Good call. Bloodsport.
amazing.
Yep, good. I'm gonna come right back at you, and I think if you did not add Bloodsport, you might add this one. And I'm gonna go with Above the Law, Steven Seagal. When you talk about the 80s and you talk about action, it was always Jean-Claude and Steven Seagal, right? Like they were a couple of the powerhouses along with Schwarzenegger, you know, and a couple other guys. But those two specifically had a hit of movies that went from late 80s and got into the 90s. It was always Van Damme and Seagal. Like they were the two. They were the 1-2 of the martial arts movies.
I agree. And I'll also agree because it's on my top 10. Now,
It is.
I will say I would have put Hard to
Wow.
Kill on this list, except that edged into the 90s. So
Yep.
unfortunately, I have to go with Above the Law. I love Above the Law, Hard to Kill, Out for Justice. Mark for Death was starting to drop off a little, and then everything after that was kind
But
of.
you still gotta. Well, okay. Let me ask you this. I know it's 90s. Where do you put? Oh shit! I'm gonna blank. Come on. He's the Playboy Bunny on the vote there.
What?
I'm talking about Seagal.
The Playboy
Uh,
Bunny
mer-
on the-
With the Playboy Bunny, he's on the boat with the Missouri. Commander
Oh,
Krill.
Under Siege. Under Siege.
Under Siege. Now, I think that was more of a revival. Would you agree?
That's a great movie. And yes, that deserves to be on the list. But you're right. It falls outside of the normal scope of the Seagal because
Right,
that was
because he
more-
went up and then
Yes.
down, and then he came back for the 90s real quick and then kind of went out again. Like he had a bunch of movies, but they're like, you know, whatever, like that stupid Alaska one, oil one. Oh, that's stupid.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Higher Ground or whatever.
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
The Under Siege was his shot at like sort of, you know, blockbuster slash.
It was a big,
You know what I'm
big
saying?
time movie. You had a lot of action going on there. But
Gary
yes, that was definitely
Busey,
90s. Yeah.
Great in that. Tommy Lee Jones, very good movie. That deserves to be mentioned with all the other greats he did during the era, you
Yep.
know, starting with Above the Law.
Yep.
Good call for that movie. Now I'm gonna get you another movie on this list that I think I only have a few left because we've had so many duplicates.
Why you should
I
have
only got
had
a
a
few left.
backup plan.
So let me go with my next choice, and I'm guessing this is gonna be on your list as well. Die Hard.
Son of a bitch. Yes.
Yo, we're almost like 7 for 7 or whatever. And we
Well,
literally
that's what I
almost
said. I mean, listen, when you talk iconic action movies, iconic action adventure movies, what we've said thus far, that's the cream of the crop. It rises to the top. I never hit a pig because a pig is a cop. I better get a Terminator, like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Terminator. That's a sci-fi. That doesn't count. You can't say that.
That's
line.
right.
Well, first of all, it makes sense that this would be the only genre we're closely associated with.
Yeah.
Just going back from the action, the horror and the comedy. So I think it's apparent, but I just wanted to say it.
Yeah.
So please, Die Hard is on your list. I really love all the Die Hard movies, going up to number 3. with Samuel
At
Jackson.
three, it was, to me, it was too much. Like he's
Really?
flying a Harrier jet. Like I like Die Hard because he was just a cop, right? He was an everyday guy. Grant, he could fight, but he was just a dude. And then it obviously progressed when, you know, Die Hard 2, The Vengeance, you know, he's with Sam Jackson, and there's still a little bit of everyday stuff. But by the time 3 came around, it was
Really?
too much. I didn't like
Hans's
it.
brother?
I
Hans's
didn't like it.
brother. That was
And
pretty
the
cool.
second one.
No, the
and the
third.
second
The
one.
second one was at the bunker, the airline. Remember with John Amos was in it?
Oh my God. Yeah. And not
Yeah.
even, I don't know why. Okay. Then yes, you're absolutely, in my mind, I only saw 3. There's actually just 4 of them.
Yeah, there's another. After 3, I was kind of like done. But
Yeah. The 4th one, I think, is the one where he has to get the hacker, right? Somebody hacks the US and he's
I
like,
don't even know.
in Maryland. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yes, you're right. Totally forgot about that. Good call.
It's okay. That's okay. I would go with Hans's brother and Sam Jackson, the third one over the second one. The second one was good, but it's not as good. I like 3 better than 2, and 1
Yeah.
being the best.
Yeah, absolutely. No question.
All right,
No
cool.
question.
Wow, this is really not like us to agree this often.
Well, I think
something's wrong.
my last 2, 3, 4, 5 that I've got,
I
I don't
got
think you're gonna have
2.
it.
I got 2 left, and I don't think you're gonna have mine. I
Okay.
got 2. How many do you have?
And I bet you, I know I can give you one that you might consider, but I've got 5 left, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 honorable mentions.
I'm looking forward to the honorable mentions. I don't have any. All right, so
Well,
give me your next one after Die Hard.
yeah, ready? And this one I think you're gonna be a little bit surprised with, but when you look back at it, it serves its purpose, and I'm gonna go with the Goonies.
That's an action. That's labeled as action.
Yep. What can you say?
Well,
You know?
if I may, I mean, it is a good movie. I will say that. I didn't even realize it was action. It never even dawned on me, number one. But number two, I never watched Goonies growing up. I didn't watch the Goonies until I met my wife. She loves the movie. She's seen it obviously a ton of times. I watched it a bunch of times with her, and I do like it. And right, it's good because it's so old, but I can still like it today. That means it stands the test of time, obviously.
And to clarify, so it's adventure comedy, but our category is action adventure.
Adventure. Good call, because that never dawned on me. And like I said, I probably wouldn't put it in my top 10 anyway, because I didn't grow up with it, and it didn't come with me as I aged. So
yeah,
but it's a good movie. It's a good movie, and you called it. You said you might not suspect this one to be.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit different because it's not the typical adventure, action that you think of, but it's more like, again, action adventure. So it falls in line.
I see it. I mean, just for the brothers alone, they were really trying to kill kids. I mean, it's pretty uncommon these days.
They're gonna put his hand in the friggin' blender and friggin' just chop it off,
Pretty bad. Well, I want to go with a title that maybe is not on your list, and maybe you're gonna be like, oh, okay. It's very similar here. Superman Part 2.
That made my honorable mention.
Woo!
And that was the one that I said I think would make your list. So yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. That's one of my all-time
Superman 2. Now, let me ask you this. If Superman 1 was done in the 80s, would that have been over 2?
You know what? I spent.
He liked him fighting the other Kryptonians, huh?
Oh my! I mean, and I said to myself, I need to go back and watch Part 1 because it's been so long. I never went back and really watched it. Like, I just focused on Superman 2 all the time. It was just so good. I got to go back and watch Part 1.
Have you seen the new remakes?
Nope. Christopher Reeves is the only Superman. They should no longer be making any Superman movies because he cannot be in them. He was the best. Come on. He was the best.
So
R.I.P.
Obviously, yes. Like, for me, it's for us, like, we grew up with him, right? And then he had that tragic accident, which obviously was just because he was our hero. He was our Superman. And to have that happen, you're paraplegic and you can't even breathe without assistance.
It's insane.
But I do think that if Henry Cavill had done it back then, I would have liked him more than Christopher Reeve. Henry Cavill is the new Superman.
Oh my God. You're ready to trump Christopher Reeves already.
Well, again, I give it to Christopher Reeve because Henry Cavill wasn't alive back then. He didn't do his thing back then. It was Christopher Reeve. And again, we grew up with him.
So
but I'm really happy with him. To me, I don't know. It's tough. It is a tough call. Yeah, I like them both.
I hope so.
It's horrible what happened to Christopher Reeve. Like, it's difficult, but yeah.
He would have still been alive if he never had.
Oh yeah,
no question. Died because of that. That finally died because of that accident.
That's exactly it. That had the direct reason that he passed away after he did that, riding his horse and stuff. So
can you believe it? I can't believe it. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Iconic Superman movie, 2. Iconic franchise, obviously. For the comic books, the movie, it's just, they'll go down in history, obviously. Okay, let's go with your next pick because I only got one left.
I got 4 left on my top 10.
I don't understand how you could have 4 left. We've covered them all together. I crossed them off.
No, we did. So together we had Robocop, Predator, Beverly Hills Cop, Die Hard. Correct?
Above the Law.
Well, Above the Law was on mine, but not on yours. It was on yours.
I mean, I'm just counting them all together.
3, 4, 5. Half the list has been gobbled up.
That's really good.
And then one of your lists, and then you lost one because it wasn't a Terminator. was sci-fi.
Wait a minute. You know what? I lost another one that I've been deleting them because I'm like, oh, I already said that. You
Oh,
already
geez.
was
What
on
did you delete?
I deleted one. Well, I just remembered, so I'll put it down. Jesus Christ.
Good. Okay.
All right,
Well, good.
my bad. All right, you're probably gonna say it next, so don't worry.
No, I won't. I'm telling you, I think these are going to be a little bit off the beaten path for you. My next is Raiders of the Lost Ark. So he had 3 movies that all came out then. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Raiders of the Lost Ark was iconic, and though I enjoyed some pieces of 2 and 3 and Last Crusade, I got to go with what got him there, and
One.
just the first one.
And that's a movie you could put on today and watch from start to finish.
Absolutely. What about you?
I mean, I watched them.
I guess no, because you asked me the question, so I'm going to assume your answer is no.
It's no, because I watched them as a kid. I did like them. I used to play the video game. They had a Temple Indiana Jones arcade game, which I loved.
Yep.
But just growing up, I just lost track of it. And recently I said to myself, I gotta revisit some of these. So it's on the list.
Out of the 3, what's your favorite?
I can't even tell you. It's been so long. I never gave him the time of day. But it is a great story. I know that. So, and I know that they're iconic for its time. They were ahead of their time. I feel.
Yep.
So I definitely got to go back and revisit those.
Cool. All right. So you got 2 more. What do you got?
Here's another one I definitely want to revisit. Roadhouse.
Patrick Swayze.
Roadhouse.
So
now, where does this fall for you?
Yeah. So this is one where it's not on my list, but it should be.
Not even honorable mention.
Not even honorable mention, but in hindsight, it definitely has a reason to be at least honorable mention.
At least honorable mention.
Yeah. Action thriller 89. You're right on the cusp. And it's one of his best movies. I mean, come on.
It's great. I mean, any movie with like
John Dalton
and the bad guy. Well, he was good. The old guy. The rich guy.
He was such a prick, but he was such a little bitch. Like I liked it when plus you have Sam Elliott, Sam Elliott is one of the, like, if you ever want to be like, if you want to see a picture of this is what a man's man is, like, it's Sam Elliott, that guy, right?
That dude who came to his rescue, his buddy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's Sam Elliott. And but yes, you had the old geezer,
and that girl,
Brad Wesley.
A lot of good sex, nudity, sexual scenes.
That blonde movie was definitely a hottie bumbleotti.
Remember they were in the closet? They were banging in the closet. He's like, "Get out!" He's like,
"Yep." Oh yeah, hell yeah, yeah. But then you had Jimmy, played by Marshall Tigg, and that's the old throat ripper in the river when he kills him
with the boot.
Yeah, well, he was got to get. Remember, he was, and he catches the boot on his shoulder, and he goes, and remember, he did it before. He killed somebody else by grabbing and pulling his throat out, and that's what he did too. And that sound, by the way, when he grabs the throat, pulls it out, and then the guy goes like, that's like the best. It was like real, like
he really did that in real life. The guy's dead. Yeah, great movie,
call.
Man.
Very good call. You're absolutely right. That deserves to be somewhere on my honorable mention, or if not top 10 list. But very good call.
Okay, but I just assumed that you would have had that one.
Yeah. Hey, listen, this is what happens. Like once in a while, you got just too many things, I
agree. I got caught. Yep. Okay. Yep. All right. Well, let's go with your next one, Josh.
All right. First Blood. John J. Rambo.
Wow.
I loved this movie as a kid. Fucking loved it. Little hippie with his long hair. You got the friggin' asshole cop.
Did you like him because he's as tall as you?
Excuse me. You just better back off. You do First Blood. But man, that definitely was one of my favorites growing up.
Was that when he was in the convenience store in the beginning?
So this is the one where he's backpacking. Remember, he's hitchhiking, and he's up in the Pacific Northwest, and he goes to his old buddy, his Vietnam buddy, who died of Agent Orange. He got cancer, and he died. And then so he realizes he's like the last of them. And then you get Brian Dennehy, the sheriff, picks him up. He's like, "Where you going?" and like he didn't want long haired in his town, so he tries to like bring him out to the edge of town, and he turns around and Rambo ain't having any of that. He just fucking turns back around, starts heading back.
Fuck. I mean, I've seen it, but it's not like highly memorable at all for me.
Oh,
so.
dude, yeah, they take him to the police station. They fucking, they get him for assault, and they have to they start to shave him, and he has like a flashback of being like in a fucking, obviously he was in the Vietnam conflict, the Vietnam War, and he was screwed around by some, the Viet Cong. But yeah, good movie.
Is this how he looked the whole film?
Hey, hey, I'm coming
Hey,
for
get
you.
your hands off me.
Don't you touch me. He drew first blood.
For an action star, I'd have to give it to Schwarzenegger over Stallone.
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree.
I just gravitated more to Schwarzenegger a little bit more. I didn't watch all their films, but I don't know.
I did, and I think it was only the Expendables where they actually finally came together for the first time. Schwarzenegger and Stallone, if I'm not mistaken.
Van Damme, I believe.
And was Van Damme in it too? Yeah,
I think they were all in that. That was like the last like hoorah or some shit. Yeah. All right, very nice.
First blood.
First blood. Now I'm going to draw second blood, and with my final pick, and this is definitely not on your list, and you're probably going to think there's no way this is an action movie, but it is because I verified. I did my homework.
Like with Terminator.
Yeah, that one I blew. Oh my god, I feel horrible for that. I didn't reference that. I just totally assumed. My final pick, class of 1984. I gotta be me. I gotta be free.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a very, very good movie. Sinister, with kids and teachers and murder and revenge.
I forgot that Michael J. Fox was in that.
Michael J. Fox, very early role for Mr. Fox. Artie.
Yes.
Name was Artie. Have you seen the movie?
Okay.
Be honest. Don't lie to our fans.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I told you it's going to be a sleeper. I told you I was going to have a sleeper. It's very good. It's a little scary. These kids are fucking like they're out of control. It's kind of like the principal with Belushi, but it's different. But it's with that effect with the students versus the staff. You know what I'm saying?
Is Roddy McDowell, Terry Corrigan? Is he the principal in this?
No, he's the music teacher.
Okay,
but he's the main. He's the main dude, and then the kids. I believe you have one more.
Two.
All right,
I've still got two.
Let's hear them.
So I'll hit them real quick. Top Gun.
Never saw it.
Some of the best flight and flying, shot films that I've ever thought. Was very good. I'm excited for when the new one finally comes out and Maverick can be himself again. But it was done very well. It was exciting. There's a lot going on. So that belongs in my top 10. And I'm going to round it out with Snake Plissken. And again, John Carpenter, who did a lot with my buddy here, Escape from New York, which was, again, one of my favorites. Kurt Russell. Yep.
I've seen it, but I can't. I don't know. Just never really.
Anytime Kurt Russell and John Carpenter got together, you knew it was going to be good.
I do like Kurt Russell a lot. So,
Isaac Hayes was the Duke.
Oh, nice. And I got to revisit that then. It's been a long time.
And in fact, Maggie, who played in this, was the girl from Creepshow that the guy pushed up to the box. He's really up in there. Go up there, Billy.
Oh, Jesus, Billy. Grow up.
Yeah. So she was in that too.
Oh,
but
wow.
yeah, Escape from New York. That rounds out my top 10. And I've still got a couple honorable mentions. And you still have none. Up next, though, Aliens. And you might think, wait a minute, is that a science fiction? And the answer is no.
Well, wait a minute. Which Alien?
1980. This is Aliens, 1986, action / sci-fi. This was she finds a little girl. So this is after she's
Sigourney Weaver. Yeah, this was the follow-up to the original. Yeah,
correct. This was the second one.
Yeah,
this was the second one.
This. I just watched Aliens for the I just watched Alien
The first
the
one.
first time. Like
She blows
last
it out of the
month.
hatch into this. Yeah.
I gotta say, I didn't love it, but I loved the dude just passed away who was in it. Yusef, what's the guy, the black dude in Alien? I don't know if you know him.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking. He's in a few movies, obviously. Not to steal your thunder from Aliens, but I just wanted to throw that out there that I just watched the first Alien. And
Wait, was it
all right.
You Fat Kodo?
Yes, he just passed
Yeah.
away. He was
Yeah.
really good in that movie.
Wasn't he in? Wasn't he in a movie that I've got in on my honorable mention?
Ooh, that would be interesting.
It might come back around if it was him, but it may not be him. Honorable mention, Commando.
Another movie I really, damn. Like I said, I didn't think I'd be adding any of these to my honorable mention.
And you wouldn't add
with
Commando.
Schwarzenegger. I know.
Let's
I've never
see.
really seen it. I've never really seen. Actually, no, I have not seen Commando. I should.
And
I should
Yusef is
watch
not who I was thinking of, so he was not in this. You haven't seen? You haven't? Are you saying? Wait, you said you haven't seen Commando?
No, I don't recall it.
Really?
No,
Oh God, Alyssa Milano. They kidnap his daughter.
Yes, we talked about this. You and I had talked about it.
Yep.
I am all about going back and revisiting certain films.
Yeah, dude, this is you got to check this one out. It's one of my favorites.
Damn it,
And I always laugh because every time he pulls a trigger, it doesn't matter what he's doing, he hits his targets. You know, he could be like doing like a backflip, and he's like, and he still hits like 6 people. You know, it is a riot in that respect.
That always is. That's how it is almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's good. Yeah, I like to add Commando to my list to just watch. But that rounds out the honorable mentions.
One more.
Oh,
Mel Gibson's on this one. And Mel Gibson did a couple of movies. Early 80s. Actually, I think he might have done 3. He might have done one in like 79 and then 2 in the 80s. They all dealt with his main character. And that, of course, is the Road Warrior, Mad Max.
Oh, well, I knew it was going to be Mad Max. I didn't know if they were all, if it was in the 80s or before, but I never really saw these either.
So I think
ruin your honorable mention list.
Let's see. What was the first one? Yeah, because Mad Max was 81. So I'm guessing the first one was probably in 79 or 80. Because Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome was 85. Oh, yeah, Mad Max 79. So like I said, the first one was done in 79, and Road Warrior was 81.
So that was your favorite, the second one, because it was the best one.
I might have gone with Mad Max in 79 because of just how original it was. My buddies, I remember growing up with my friends or my brothers, and we'd ride our bikes around the street, and we'd like try to hack at each other and knock each other off like they were driving their cars. You know, we'd play Mad Max with our bikes, which was obviously very unsafe, but that's the shit you did back dangerous.
Then. Well, I would like to watch that myself. Yeah, I mean it's
fun. I mean, it's a low budget Australian film that got big.
They made like video games from that too.
Oh yeah, it made a lot of money
and a remake.
Yes, they just did one with Charlize Theron, 2015. With
Mark Wahlberg, was he in that?
It was called Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, so
Mark Wahlberg was not in this.
Okay, well that definitely took off then because that's been
Tom Hardy was, like I said, Charlize Theron. And a couple of the folks, but yeah, no Mark Wahlberg. Thank Christ.
I don't know
because I couldn't handle him.
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking him, but yeah, that's pretty. That sort of what do they call that?
Kind of an iconic
franchise.
Sort of, yeah,
that franchise is definitely has staying power.
Yep, did some damage. It did some damage back in the day. So so there you have it, folks. There is our top 10. Of the action adventure movies from the 1980s that Adam and I have. You saw a bunch of them that we shared, so kind of cold things down quickly, but just tells you where our minds are. We are two people that think the same things many times.
2 peas in a pod.
2 peas in a pod.
And you will not see any other genres get that closely associated.
I don't think so. I don't think so. So we've decided next week will be drama. And I
God.
know we'll have a few on. We will have a few on there.
Well, there's not many. I'll tell you that.
Right.
If you find a
That's what I'm
10
saying.
out of that, I'm going to be real. That
I think
you
you'll be
can sit
surprised.
here and watch today.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Do not lie and say you go watch. I'm going to ask you after every movie if you could sit down and watch that movie today.
I know one right now that you and I will both say yes to.
Yes, of course. And we already know
Yeah.
that it was classified what we thought what it was.
You're right. Exactly.
And there's actually
Do you?
no wonder why I was a drama. He was crying. Do you? All right, folks. Well, get ready for next week. We're rounding out the 80s. We're going to move to the 90s, by the way.
Yeah, right. Each decade, right?
Our fans are requiring us to continue the trend and go into the 90s.
Yeah, we're just giving what you guys want. You know,
fine with me. The 90s
T-shirts are on the way.
The 90s are going to spawn some great movies as well.
They certainly will.
I'm looking forward to that list too.
Yeah, me
All
too.
right, guys. Until the next time, stay funny.
Stay broken.
And stay broken.
You know it.
Toodles.
Peace.